All right, guys, we're going to be reacting to America's Most Successful Sociopath by Blarg, also known as Cozy Corner, I believe is the name of the channel that he made, the Cozy Corner.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about one of the
Does he
most
do like on-screen stuff, or is it just his face?
And,
I'm curious.
Potentially murderous humans in American history.
Let's take a guess. Let's take a guess. The most successful sociopath. I'm assuming he's going to talk about Zodiac killer. What does he mean by successful? I mean, killing is the objective of a killer, right?
Talk about that guy, though. You might notice I'm in a different spot in my house. I don't know if I like this spot. My back is very hot. Also got a haircut that I'm not 100% sold on yet today, so I don't know. Let me know if you guys like my haircut, I guess. I don't know. We're probably just gonna keep doing episodes in random places throughout my
I feel like that's such a cool idea.
With somewhere that I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh,
that's
I thought.
Good spot. Anyways, today we are going to be talking about Thomas Edison. Yes, the Thomas Edison that you have all heard of.
Are we talking about the same person? Like, what the f happened? Where are we going with this? All right, I mean, because what is he invented the light bulb, so it's like electricity, which kills a lot of people. Fires, maybe fire. Maybe he's relating to fires. I don't know.
Had his greasy digits in pretty much every single cookie jar you could find. I know he does have a reputation of being kind of a dick, but I think there's a lot more layers to it than people really realize. A never-ending rabbit hole.
I'm dumb as hell when it comes to
also,
stuff.
excuse my Grinch mug. It's about to be Christmas. I'm sure you're seeing this well past Christmas.
Yeah.
But for me, it's almost Christmas. Yes, excuse my mug. Really important little
the ADHD is insane.
Anyway,
or ADD.
Rabbit hole with this guy.
That's literally me, bro.
Stories that involve potentially killing sea turtles, potentially killing elephants.
Yo, that's like the worst thing you can do, by the way.
Kinda killing his assistant. So stick around for that family fun.
Bruh. Oh, America's most successful sociopath. Not America's most successful murderer. Wow, I went into this video with a whole different mindset because I read the title wrong or something, bro. Holy shit. Sociopath. Yep. All right, we're locked in. We're relocked. We're recalibrated. Okay. I did not know all this, by the way.
Come from,
it was interesting.
You know, like 100+ years ago. I mean, stories tend to get more and more dramatized as things go on, and accounts become less accurate the more times the story's been told. So just keep that in mind
telephone
while we're talking about something.
Literally telephone. Like the entire game of telephone is to whisper in somebody's ear and say a story, and then they have to whisper to another person, then they whisper it on, and it just becomes this entirely different story. You could be talking about a dog and somehow end up talking about the Holocaust. Like, it's just
some of these things because they are wild. All right, let's go over some history.
How wild can they really be?
Into the wacky fun. Mr. Thomas Edison was born February 11th of 1847. He was actually born in Milan.
Milan is not mode.
Ohio. Thomas Edison was actually the youngest of 7 in his household. I'm not sure if his parents were running some sort of like vault tech experiment back then, or if there was just nothing else to do in the 1800s but make babies. Thomas Edison, extremely competitive. He was actually...
Well, I mean, if you have back then, like having 6 siblings, like it's the only way to keep like a couple of them alive, because if you have 6 of them, like at least like what, 3 out of 6 is gonna be alive, because back then like the diseases were a lot more rampant than they are nowadays.
Partially deaf for the age of 12 onward to when he passed away due to a couple things. First was genetics, as his father and one of his brothers were also partially deaf. But secondly,
one of them, damn, 2 out of 6 is pretty good.
He contracted scarlet fever as a child, which included him getting lots of ear infections.
Literally what I just told you.
However, Thomas Edison himself, when asked about what he thinks happened to his hearing, he recalled some weird jumbled story about his father dragging him on a train by the ears and he heard something pop. I don't know. It's pretty cloudy. There's not really a whole lot of info on it. So I think it's just safe.
Yeah, they didn't have the best journalists. They didn't have the best
some horrible train accident.
Internet back then.
Because of his hearing loss, Edison as a child took part in lots of normal fun activities that children do, like clamping his teeth down very hard on wooden tables so he could hear the vibrations. Bro, what? There is also a piano out there that might or might not.
Well, is he like? Did he get in a relationship and clamp his like teeth down on his like significant other's arm just to hear her heartbeat? Like what? Okay.
Not have his bite marks.
Just touch it.
Despite these things, though, he
Wait,
actually.
what?
team that might or might not
Oh.
have his bite marks. Despite these things, though, he actually seemed to like being deaf, as he was directly quoted saying that it saves him from the mundane conversations. Edison was mainly homeschooled by
That's
his mom
vile.
for most of his life. He did attend a regular school for a very short period of time, but honestly, none of that really mattered because he already had a natural obsession with technology and engineering growing up. This guy literally made 1,093 patents across the United States, which is a number that's still unbeaten today, by the way. This
Yeah,
guy
because nobody's
loved inventing stuff. Like, if
fucking-
I sat here and just talked about the patents that led to things that we still use today, the video would be too long. Despite the fact that this guy may or may not have been absolutely batshit crazy, he was
Well, you can't be intelligent and a good person. Who the would have both of those? If you have both of those, you're just living the best life. I just genuinely don't think that's physically possible. You got to be insane and like intelligent, or you got to be nice and dumb, like, or in the middle, like the middle ground. You know, you can be both in the middle, but you're not going to be either one.
genuinely one of the best inventors of his time. I mean, let me just read some of the highlights here. The incandescent light bulb, the electric car, vote counters, the electric typewriter, the phonograph, the motion picture camera, maybe, the fluoroscope, the copy machine.
I'm just gonna say though, like he was creating stuff before it actually there's a lot not that there's a lot less to make nowadays, but back then like and I'm not saying it's easier or harder. I would think it's like easier to invent stuff before, maybe not, because now I say when he invented one thing, it just led down like this rabbit hole of just continuous inventing, because like that's the same thought process that the beginning is always harder to do than the middle. Like, right? Like if you're writing a book, like once you get everything laid out in front of you, you're ready to go. But getting it laid out in front of you is so difficult, in my own opinion. I don't know about all y'all, but like if I'm solving like a math problem, right, and I get the beginning of the math problem, the rest of the math problem is not going to be as hard as getting the first number.
The electric generator, and just when you think this guy is a one-trick electric pony, he invented waterproofing paint for Portland concrete structures.
What a weird
Whatever
thing to
the
do.
hell that is.
What a weird
the big
thing to do.
question that a lot of people have is, were those really Thomas Edison's inventions?
Yeah, I've heard
well,
this. I've heard this. The light bulb specifically, I've
his
heard
first
was...
invention was the automatic vote counter.
Oh no! Wow.
Which was cool and all, but Edison, being the businessman he is, realized that it's not a ton of repeat buyers, so that's not exactly what was going to be lucrative for him. Honestly, in hindsight too, it kind of seems like a pointless invention anyway, when some orange guy in like 100 years is going to tell you that it's rigged anyway.
Wrong.
So we'll just skip right over that and get to the invention that everyone most commonly associates Edison with, the incandescent light. A common misconception is that he invented the light bulb.
No.
But light bulbs were invented nearly 50
Yeah, I heard
years
this.
before Thomas Edison was even born. The
Yeah.
first light bulbs were actually called arc lamps, and they were invented in 1802 by a little fella named Humphrey Davis.
Hell
You
yeah,
see,
Humphrey.
The problem with Mr.
Humpty Dumpty
Hump's
fell off a
little arc
wall.
lamps here is that they were far too bright for indoors, expensive to maintain, and a very short lifespan. So Mr. Thomas Edison, who was probably sick and tired of using his iPhone flashlight, decided to invent a light bulb that
Bro, who the fuck has an iPhone? No, I'm just kidding, but seriously.
was safe, efficient, and can be used indoors. The numbers are a little shoddy
I'm joking, by the way. Relax.
here, and by that I mean they're not even close. But it's reported that Edison tried somewhere between 300
I heard
and
that he-
1,600 different filaments for his incandescent light.
Yeah, I heard that he went through so many, like the whole concept of when you like when you think of Thomas Edison or whatever, fucking this guy, you go, oh man, like he never gave up. Yeah, he was just fucking insane. But like, I mean, he did never give up. Like that's the whole thing you correlate with him, is like, be like Thomas Edison. If you fail once, you can fail 1,600 more times and finally get it on the last one. All that matters is that you get it.
Bulbs. He even tried using a fucking turtle. I shit you not. This guy peeled the shell off dead turtles and tried slapping that into a light bulb. He really was a visionary. Luck.
I mean, it is fucked up, and if you do that, you're insane. But like I said, you can't be both. You can't be a humanitarian and the most intelligent person in your like area, because being an inventor is doing things that nobody else is going to do, or doing things that nobody else would think to do, specifically that. But yeah, that's just wrong. I'm not killing a turtle for that. I don't care, bro.
Luckily for the turtles, though, he decided to use a form of carbonized cotton instead. Now, the turtles may have got out lucky, but the elephants definitely did not.
Yeah. Oh, the elephant in the room. Literally.
I'm
Like
gonna
and
preface
subscribe,
this.
guys.
Please take this,
Link down below for
section
original
with
video.
a very, very large grain of salt, because this one has
Nah,
the most red flags.
It's definitely
and
true.
conflicting statements about it. If this one is true, holy sh. Is it a wild one? I gotta give you some backstory for
I love
this
his
one.
click, his, like,
in the
outfit.
late 1800s, there was this war of currents, which honestly sounds a lot cooler than it was. It was pretty much just two rich dudes to see which one can one-up each other and become more rich. Sometimes it takes a couple of really rich dudes with big egos to get technology moving forward. This war of currents was waged by a Mr. George Westinghouse and our very own Thomas Edison. Both of these brilliant men wanted the exact same goal of bringing usable and sustainable electricity to the people of America. Naturally, they decided to put their differences aside and do what was best for a whole society.
Kill elephants.
I'm kidding. Edison started killing dogs. Yeah, instead of just simply swaying the public with facts and information.
I don't know what would have been worse. Elephants or dogs? That's insane. Either one is just wrong. But like, they kill elephants nowadays. Their like trunks are expensive, right, or whatever. But like, bro, what the hell? What the dog doing? Like literally.
On why his way was the correct way. This dude started filming himself killing animals with AC power to prove that it was dangerous. All right.
Can that be done? You could do the same thing with the other one. Like what? That. I guess he's getting his point across though. Like if I shot a dog in the face with a shotgun, like it would prove that it's dangerous.
Hey, hold on. I got the exact numbers. His team killed 44 dogs, 6 calves, and 2 horses. Honestly, what an insane gamble, and it worked.
Yeah.
Aside from the fact that it didn't, and the public completely turned on him and went with Westinghouse's idea. But that potentially wasn't even the craziest part. Okay, so the entire 1800s
was there a
idea.
minion?
But that potentially.
Why is there a minion? Why did he do that?
Wasn't even the craziest part. Okay, so the entire 1800s and early 1900s was honestly insane. They didn't even have excuses like the 1960s and 70s where everyone was insane from like leaded gasoline or something. It's so hard to believe that hundreds of people went along with this idea and were like, yeah.
No, I'm gonna be honest. Whatever he's about to say, I genuinely don't think anything will make me go, yeah, that's crazy. No, bro, the things that people go along with is actually unfucking believable. Like genuinely. They take one piece of information that they hear and they're like, oh, I like that. Nothing else. They take no other information.
You know, nothing weird here. Nothing strange going on. I think we can go through with it. So in 1875, an elephant named Topsy was born. Topsy was illegally smuggled into the US and then paraded around in the circus, marketed as the first US-born elephant ever, which was obviously not true. Topsy, you know, being an elephant, grew far faster and stronger than the circus was expecting. Topsy was also noted as having bad behavior due to the fact that it killed a spectator in 1902. So they did.
It's kind of crazy that if you capture an animal and raise it in captivity, it has a little bit of resentment. But it's labeled bad. Okay, yeah. You're a bad boy. You're a bad elephant for us taking away from your family, your home, and your entire life that you would have known if it had actually gone that way.
Did the reasonable thing and sold it to Coney Island, New York in 1902.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
You would have thought like maybe one single person would have been like, hey guys, I don't know, maybe let's just like bring it back to Southeast Asia where it can live out the rest of its life. You know,
back then didn't care about that.
They decided, let's publicly hang the elephant in front of a paid audience. But before you freak out, somebody with a brain, somebody with logic.
Yeah, I don't like where this is going, even if he's saying before you freak out, but I just want to say something like along the lines of, what the f are they hanging it with? Where are you getting something strong enough to hold it up?
Logic finally stepped into the situation. The ASPCA stopped the show before it could happen and said, guys, you cannot just hang an elephant. You need to poison and electrocute it as well. So that being said, Topsy was brought in front of a crowd.
Yep. Yeah. That's just the rational mindset of a person born in the 1800s to the 1900s.
Of 1,500 people and 100 members of press, where it was strangled with a steam-powered rope, poisoned with cyanide, and electrocuted to death. All of that followed by a pleasant golf clap from the...
I was genuinely about to say, are you about to tell me these motherfuckers were in the crowd going, woo, yeah, kill that elephant. I want some of its meat. Kill Woo! I don't doubt it, to be honest. Like, genuinely, this was probably the truth. This is probably true. Like, the things that happened in the past, like, because there was nobody to hold anybody accountable, like, genuinely, it astounds me. That's why when people complain about the internet, I'm like, I feel like without the internet, the world would be a worse place than it is. Like, it's bad, but, like, I don't know, man. Like, just a part of me, like, thinks, like, there's just things that we didn't know back then, and they could get away with it so much easier than they can nowadays.
Crowd. Luckily for Topsy, electrocution was deemed the final cause of death. But it's not all doom and gloom. Apparently, Topsy's skin was made into a lovely chair, and her charred legs were hollowed out and turned into umbrella holders. So that's something. So
at least they used her. I don't know. All I can say is at least they used her instead of just killing her and not using any. There's no redeemable factors here, is there?
That part is all clear as day and well documented. Where we get a little bit cloudy is Thomas Edison's involvement. So one of the biggest things linking Thomas Edison to this incident,
literal designs.
My apologies. This performance. The company that made the
yeah. Golf clap. Well done. What a spectacle. What a great show, man. What a great show.
Device for the electrocution was called Edison Manufacturing. And the ones who made the film were called Edison Film Company. So that in itself, obviously, is not a great look for Edison.
This guy ain't killing animals.
Edison himself was never actually at the event. It feels weird calling an event like it's a fucking NASCAR race or something. So yeah, Edison.
You go over to your friend's house. Hey man, did you hear about the elephant did you hear about the elephant in the room? And he's like, oh, you're talking about the thing they're doing down the street? Yeah, you want to go check it out? Hell yeah, man. It's going to be awesome. I heard it's going to be an absolute spectacle. Did you hear they're really going to, like, hang an elephant? Yeah, man, that's just crazy to me. That thing is so big. I can't wait to see the life be drained out of a poor elephant that was taken from its home. Me neither, man. I am so excited to view this spectacle with you. Let's go together. La 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 la. Wow, man. What a great show that was to watch an elephant get absolutely obliterated right in front of my poor baby eyes. Anyway, you want to go play, What did they play back then, bro? Like... Anyway, you want to go play Escape the Chickenpox?
Was never actually there the day that Topsy was electrocuted, and the war on currents was pretty much over with him losing to Westinghouse well before all of that happened. So despite those being facts, a lot of people believe that he was behind the scenes getting his greasy little fingerprints all over it. Some people seem to think he just wanted to be involved out of like pure spite for losing the war of currents.
That literally makes no sense.
I find that kind of a stretch, but also a lot of people think that he just wanted to be involved in filming the very first death on camera. One of the biggest flaws in...
I just think he genuinely was like, another animal to add to my list. I am playing bingo with some of my friends, and I am winning. Because they do not have the gall to kill a dog, a horse, calves, fair enough. And, yeah, an elephant. I think I've successfully... taken the victory.
In the theory that Edison was involved with the killing of Topsy is the fact that Edison wasn't even a part of Edison Manufacturing by the time of all this happening. He was actually bought out by GE and had moved on in this point of time. From what I could find,
if he wasn't involved, then he didn't. I don't think he did it. Like if it wasn't his company, I don't think he was involved.
He was still part of Edison Film Company though. But he was allegedly pretty hands-off. So this may very well
sounds
be
like
a case
he was
of
like
reporting or a story being retold so many times that it became cemented in reality,
or it just,
despite not fully
one
being
person
true.
said it,
That
and then it just became
Edison,
the
being
truth.
The madman he was, saw that the public wasn't exactly happy about the charred elephant and decided to hide his fingerprints. The unfortunate reality is we will probably...
I don't know. He did the dog thing. Why I don't understand why he would do the dog thing, the horse thing, and then do an elephant thing after being literally discarded.
We never know, and the truth is more than likely.
Also, how are the people discarding, like actually just turning against Thomas Edison and saying, I don't like you, and then literally the elephant was like enjoyed and applaud upon.
Likely lost to time. At this point,
Racist.
You're probably thinking, wow, turtles, dogs, calves, horses, that Edison guy, he sure does sound like a goofball. But at least he doesn't kill people, right? Right?
Well, I don't know. Like, do you guys like? How do you guys feel about that? Like, I don't know. That's such an interesting like, because when I watch a movie with somebody, right, a dog dies, they're bawling their eyes out. When I watch a movie with them and the human dies, they're just like, all right, move on. Next. A dog, cat, any animal dies. No. Why? Why did that? A human dies? Oh my god, why are we still looking at this guy? I know we've been watching him for the entire series or entire movie, but this is so fucking annoying. Can we just move on to the next scene? Like, for real. Like, I'm genuinely being 100% with y'all.
Cut to October 4th, 1888.
Ooh, I like that.
A lovely fall day, a 47-year-old Louis LePrince carries out a large wooden box held up by 4 legs and places it in the yard of his father-in-law. What you're looking at now is the footage that came from that wooden box. This was the very first motion picture, and Louis LePrince had created the very first video camera. LePrince knew he was onto something special here. He planned on perfecting it over the next couple of years, and in 1890 bringing it to New York to have the very first motion picture screening.
Let's go!
Given the fact that this is probably the first time a lot of you guys have heard his name,
Assassinated.
that's right, Mr. Prince never made it to New York.
That's just like the guy who like made his car run on water or something.
His cause of death? Well, that's where things start to get real messy. One day,
Well, I mean, he died. That's usually messy.
Prince just vanished. No note, no witnesses, no clues, nothing. Within a few weeks of Prince's mysterious disappearance, a little somebody by the name of Thomas Edison just happened to file a preliminary patent for, yup, you guessed it, a motion picture camera identical to Prince's design. You could make the argument that
Well, obviously he heard about it and instantly created another one. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, come on. He didn't do anything.
given they were in the same time period with the same technology, trying to invent the same thing, that it was just a crazy coincidence.
Yeah, it was just a coincidence,
well, this
man.
wasn't Edison's first time filing a patent for a motion picture camera. Edison had actually previously filed patents of his own for motion picture cameras, and none of them were anything like Prince's design. But then suddenly, a couple weeks after Prince's mysterious disappearance, he submits a patent design that is almost identical.
Well, maybe in Prince's will, he had that Thomas Edison would be gifted the camera.
Okay, fair enough.
Jesus.
But Edison was running nearly
Taste of
countless
gamer.
projects and companies by this point in his life.
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't actually him who made this design for this new patent.
Exactly.
Well, that would actually be correct. Edison passed off the task of perfecting the motion picture camera to his associate, William Dixon. So
See?
there it is.
We're good.
All cleared up. Edison's never heard of Prince's patent, and Dixon was the one who stole the design after he disappeared. Nah, I'm just kidding. Sometime in the
See, I was trying to give man benefit of the doubt, and nope, can't do that.
late spring of 1891, after Edison's invention of the kinograph or motion picture camera, what has been revealed to the world, a now widowed Mrs. Elizabeth Prince was taking a boat ride from Jersey to Manhattan. Still absolutely fuming that Edison had the balls to steal her husband's design and pass it as his own just weeks after his disappearance. And that is when she spots the big man himself, Thomas Edison, on the same boat ride that she's on, talking to somebody that she recognizes. The man that she recognized was named William Guthrie. So who the hell is William Guthrie?
Gun 3. I think I see more than 3. They got a gun on my knee. Pull the Glock and I'm free. Sorry, I don't know. His name is a Gun Free, not Gun 3. I don't.
You
I'm
might
sorry.
ask.
Sorry.
None other than the man who acted as Louis LePrince's patent advisor. Holy moly. So where does all of this lead us?
Wonder,
Did Edison really
does this
have
a
Prince killed so
relation?
that he could claim the motion picture camera as his own? Or was it simply a case of him being the easiest target to explain the disappearance of Louis LePrince?
True.
Honestly, that's kind of the part. We really don't know, and
Yeah.
may never know.
I'm excited
There is a
to
crowd
see
that
more
likes to
videos like
point
this.
out
This is
that
good.
LePrince was probably in complete financial ruin from all the R&D by this point. So he might have just said, you know what, screw this. That's not my problem anymore. Now it's my family's. See you later. However,
The timing for that though is so fucking sus. He's about to and like as an inventor or like just somebody who can understand it. Not me. Like as somebody who can truly understand. as somebody who can understand a person's work of art and like their dedication to art, like any human being should be able to understand that. You can kind of grasp the concept of like he's like on the verge of finishing it. He's not gonna stop, and then a couple heels. No, like
it seems very odd to do this once you've finally
yeah,
struck
that's what I'm
gold and did actually
saying.
create the very thing that you were seeking to create. So was Edison that desperate to claim the invention for himself
Doesn't make
that
any
he would
sense,
have
though.
someone
But it
killed?
does- but it-
I did
yeah, I mean-
actually find one single article from ScienceDirect.com labeled as opinion. And it claims that they found a journal page from Edison's personal journal dated September 20th, 1890 that reads, "Eric called me today from Dijon. It has been done. Prince is no more. This is good news, but I flinched when he told me. Murder is not my thing. I'm an inventor, and my inventions for moving images can now move forward." I call hard fucking cap on this one. It's like somebody asked AI to incriminate itself.
Yeah.
Like, Edison may have been a lot of things, but stupid enough to, like, literally write down detail.
I don't know. You get to a certain point when you are something that like you do things that you don't usually think that you would do, or that somebody else would not naturally think that you would do. Like for example, like if you're like a killer, right? You're doing all this stuff. You almost like it's like this, or not like a killer in general. I mean, he's a sociopath, but like a sociopath, you can't understand the way they work unless you literally become that person or are that person, because he might have felt guilt in that moment for like actually stealing somebody else's work. Like yeah, he's excited because he gets to move his project forward, which is why he wanted the like project itself, so he could understand it more and go, wow, this is amazing, and then I can use this to prosper and push forward. But he wrote it down, and I don't know if he had a journal in general, and if he just had a journal, like nobody's gonna read his journal until he's dead. Like I don't know, it's kind of a tricky thought process, but I do understand like he's supposed to be this really intelligent guy who it kind of seems ruthless. I don't know why he would. It just seems weird.
About murder on paper.
It doesn't feel right. I agree.
It just seems like a bit of a stretch.
Like,
so this is unfortunately.
I don't think him admitting it on paper is really the stretch. I almost feel more or less that the wording, it just doesn't feel genuine. Like that's something that he would write, but that's just a psychological like insight into that concept, because like he kills dogs, he kills animals, he supposedly killed an elephant. Like he's an inventor, he's worked with countless people. Like it's just a weird thing to be like, oh, and I flinched when he told me, like and just that small snippet. I don't know.
Another situation that will fall to
I don't
personal
believe that.
opinion and subjectivity. Maybe in the future somebody will find out what happened to Prince so his family can finally find peace.
True, it's still
but in the meantime, let's talk about somebody who definitely died. I feel like that might have been a little too cheery.
Well, they're all technically dead, to be fair. So X-rays and fluoroscope.
So again, this one will need some more backstory and some context.
I love the music
This
choice
is
as
actually
well.
the story that got me
Very
interested
subtle.
in learning about Edison. In order to fully explain this one, I need to teach you guys about X-rays. So put your learning cap on and let's get cooking. X-rays were discovered in 1895 by William Röntgen. The term X-ray actually came from Röntgen not knowing what type of radiation it was.
So real quick before we continue, like these last few minutes, is I just want to hit on like the factor of like making a video like this. Like it's not like an easy video. First off, you have to write a script, and then you have to talk about it in a way that doesn't bore the audience, but still hitting on the important facts. And that is genuinely impressive, because I don't understand how people do that. When I like think about it, I'm like, I would love to do something like this for anime, for just in general, because I love a lot of topics. But I just, first off, ADD fucks me over, so I'm just yapping and talking about one thing and then I'll jump to another thing. And secondly, how do you know what is like important to talk about and what is not important to say? Because like this could be a genuine 40-minute video if he said every word for word, but he like shortens it, cuts it up, and it just makes this video very well.
So he kind of just used X as a placeholder, and it ended up sticking. Röntgen unknowingly discovered that if you send extremely high voltage through a Crookes tube, which is essentially a glorified light bulb with some fluorescent dust in it, it would cause very high energy electrons to interact with electronically charged anode, causing electrons to abruptly change courses and stop, almost like a car swerving out of the way from a pedestrian into a brick wall. When this impact happened, it caused electrons to dissipate their energy not only into heat, but also into electromagnetic wave that we now know as X-rays. So for a medical X-ray back then, you would send high voltage to this Crookes tube, having a fluorescent sensitive screen behind the subject you're trying to X-ray. And because of the difference in
I don't
density
feel like
between
this was
bones
okay
and
back
skin
then.
and muscle. If you left it there for a little while, you would end up with a nice little photo of the spooky, scary skeleton living inside of you. At this point, you're probably thinking, hey man, that's cool, but where does our favorite little capitalist come into play? Obviously, x-rays had a huge potential in the medical industry, but before they could have a practical use, Edison realized that there was an issue. X-rays just took too long. When Röntgen wanted to prove his x-ray findings, he thought, okay, this could be extremely dangerous, and we don't know the side effects of these x-rays. Who is a completely expendable person that I could test my findings on? His wife. He subjected the hand of his wife to over 15 minutes of x-rays to get the very first photo of the human skeleton in a living person. For context, that same x-ray nowadays would take roughly 1/50th of a second. That 15 minutes was just a hand. For a leg, it could take nearly an hour. If someone is bleeding out from a bullet that you're trying to find, you don't really have an hour to kill. It needed to be...
No, that's definitely true, but even like the concept of being able to see it is impressive. It needed to be quicker, yes, that's totally fair, but it existing in the first place is unreal. Now, can we hear the side effects?
Be quicker. So, in 1896, Edison revealed the fluoroscope to the world, a machine capable of showing a continuous X-ray feed rather than one single image. Now, naturally, he needed to show the world this incredible invention, so him and his assistant packed their bags to show off the fluoroscope to any potential buyers.
Yeah,
of course, Edison, not knowing the side effects yet, opted out for being the one to demonstrate his machine and instead decided his assistant was the man for the job. So his assistant would show off how it works using one of his hands.
Continuously.
Until that hand would eventually get burned, when he would swap to the other hand back and forth until he got some unsurprising bad news. As an absolute shock to nobody at all, he developed cancer in his hands. Doctors removed his fingers. Man. Doctors removed his fingers hoping that it would help quell the cancer. Unfortunately, that did not work, so they took his entire hands. When the cancer still continued to spread, they took his arms and he was able to live out the rest of his life as a lowercase I. He died of cancer in October of 1904. After
Sorry. That is yeah. I don't really know. That's just wow, bro. Like you can't really be like, oh, Thomas Edison's not full, because Loki bro kept doing it. Like he kept doing it. He kept saying, yeah. He could have said, nah, I'm out, bro, unless he was forced.
After this happened, Edison, who was really feeling the burden of being on the forefront of technological advancement, left us with one extremely powerful and meaningful quote about radiation. He said,
Bad.
Don't talk to me about x-rays. I'm afraid of them. So to wrap this up, was Edison just an easy target
What the
being slandered at
Valid,
every
to be
possible
fair.
turn? Or was he truly this batshit insane businessman
Don't talk to me about my invention. I'm afraid of them. Loki, though, they made me hella money.
willing to do literally anything to succeed? The answer probably lies somewhere in between. One thing we do absolutely know for certain, though, is that he did not live a boring life.
I don't think,
Thank you guys.
I don't think you can like combat that with how many attempts he tried for the light bulb. Like if you never give up on that, like that many attempts, like you know he wants to succeed, and the only thing he's driven by is success. Like,
so much for watching the video. Subscribe if you've been enjoying the content, and I will see you later.
video.
You know what I miss?
No, but for real, this is such a cool, like, start with the camera going in and out of photos. The first video I recorded for this channel, and did not know what I was doing. Dude, such a good video, man. I love Blarg. Blarg's awesome. He's such a good ass person. Yeah, that's gonna end the video. Go check out the original video link down below, and I'll catch y'all later.